Steeped in popular music history, from the days of Tin Pan Alley some 75 years ago to today's D-generation Green Door parties downtown. A guided tour of New York City's rock and roll landmarks has recently begun by Danny Fields, a 25-year music industry veteran who's worked in management and publicity for everyone from the Doors to Lou Reed to the Ramones. In honor of the Video Music Awards return to New York City, we took Danny Fields' rock and roll tour, and here's what we saw. Where should we start?
Well, I think we're going to start at what was Max's Kansas City. It's now a Korean delicatessen, 213 Park Avenue South. This was the center of New York culture and music, literature, art, film, and rock and roll from about 1965 to 81 when it closed. Aerosmith debuted upstairs, the New York debut. Bruce Springsteen played there solo. Iggy Pop rolled in Broken Glass.
We're here at St. Mark's Place, which is one of the most colorful places in New York City, downtown.
St. Mark's Bar, where the Rolling Stones did the interior shots for Waiting on a Friend. Nick and Keith sitting at the bar, then they go back, play with the band. A little bit further down, you'll see a pair of matching tenements. That's where Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti album was shot.
Now we're making our way up the Bowery. Here at Bowery and Bleecker is the famous CBGB.
CBGB's is the birthplace of modern rock and roll as we know it. I think in front of it is Hilly Crystal, the man who started it all, the owner and proprietor of this great mini mall that CBGB's has become.
I've been here on a lot of weekends with my friends, and I swear I still see Joey Ramone hanging about at certain times. Do any of them still frequent the place?
Well, either they frequent it or their ghosts do, yes.
Mr. Cab Driver, Mr. Cab Driver.
The Upper West Side is where one of the most frequently asked about sites in Manhattan is located. It's the Dakota. It's behind us, and it's very famous because
This is where John Lennon was shot in December of 1980, coming back from a recording session with his wife, Yoko Ono.
the area of New York that we are now in is called Chelsea, and behind us, of course, is the Chelsea Hotel, where many famous writers and musicians and artists have stayed throughout the years. And didn't Nancy Spungen of Sid and Nancy fame die here?
When Sid left the Sex Pistols, when Sex Pistols broke up and started on his solo career, they lived here, and she died here in 1978.
So now we're on 8th Street, one of the more colorful streets in Greenwich Village. Behind us is the famous Electric Lady studio right there with the round brick.
Jimi Hendrix worked for a long time building this studio, and he recorded there, and he stayed above it, and went to the opening night party in August of 1970, got in a limousine from the party, went to JFK, and died a month later.
And it's right down the street from one of the most famous clubs in New York City, the Bottom Line Theater here, where Bruce Springsteen and Pat Benatar got their start.
Prince's first New York show was here, and when he came out with his little bikini underwear, I mean, people freaked.
Up here at 54th and Broadway, we have the famous Ed Sullivan Theater, which is now, obviously, the home of The Late Show with David Letterman.
And it was the home of the Ed Sullivan Show in the 50s and 60s. Ed Sullivan was a newspaper columnist who had a variety show on Sunday night, and he introduced the Beatles.
Right now, it seems like somebody is coming out of the David Letterman show. Dave! Hey, Dave! Up, he's going into the bar. Oh, here he comes again. Dave! Hey, Dave! Well, we've just been blown off by David Letterman. I guess that's a good way to end our tour. Maybe he's here tonight. If you're coming to New York City and you'd like to take Danny Fields' rock and roll tour, the number to call is 212-807-7625, and it is a toll call. The tour runs Saturdays and Sundays and costs $25. All right, now behind me.